NBC6 News Today at 6 starts with breaking news.
All right, this morning, Thursday, it is a windy start to the day, but the good news is the storms seem to be off the coast right now. You're taking a live look at our Doppler 6000 first alert radar this morning, and you can see those storms still lingering off the coast.
Yeah, and of course, you guys probably saw this in the overnight hours. This is flooding hitting parts of South Florida. Heavy rain and wind pounded parts of Davie all day and into the night.
Let's get to some video of Miami Beach right along Collins Avenue and 44th Street, where they saw some flooding, not unexpected, but they also saw some trees down and some problems caused by all of the wind, which could linger into today with those windy conditions that we're dealing with right now.
And imagine if this was your car.
Oof.
Yikes. Yeah, this is
dig
video
it on
from Miami
out.
Beach. Yeah, you're going to have to dig it out. This is off of Meridian Avenue and 12th Street. It shows just how powerful that wind was, causing trees to topple over right onto vehicles.
So as a result of all the rain and the flooding conditions, Broward County Public Schools are closed today. The district says all after-school activities, events, field trips, sporting events, scheduled meetings, evening classes, they are also canceled. It's to ensure everybody's safety and well-being. Pembroke Pines charter schools, they are closed as well, but Pembroke Pines early development centers will remain open. So too will Miami-Dade Public Schools. They made the announcement yesterday that schools will remain open today as well. So a lot to digest here this morning, but it was a lot to deal with yesterday. We're still dealing with it this morning.
It's right next to you.
It is. Oh, thanks. Thanks for waking up with us, South Florida, on this hopefully drier Thursday. I'm Chris Anderson.
Yeah, I'm Constance Jones. We have a lot to get to. We have team coverage for you this morning as you head out the door. We have NBC6's Julia Bagg and Shernay Amara tracking flooding that we have both in Miami-Dade and Broward counties.
We do want to get things started with First Alert meteorologist Adam Berg with a look at the current conditions and what we can expect today. Hopefully a chance to dry out a little bit, Adam.
Absolutely. And the wind is going to really help things dry out. Way too much wind, though. So the rain is pretty much out now. Very windy conditions, though, remain. We have all sorts of wind issues that I need to break down. After today and even beginning as early as this afternoon, you're going to notice that wind calming down and then a much calmer stretch ahead. Honestly, starting later today, we're in good shape. I have to show you this map, though. We just recently updated this one. Chelsea, thank you for plotting the new numbers on here. Chelsea working hard in the weather office here to bring the latest data to you guys. So now we're looking at a 3-day radar estimate of numbers here, and these radar estimates are really accurate. So when the official numbers come out from the National Weather Service, it's going to be probably pretty close to this. Look at this. Over the last 3 days here, about 1.5 feet of rain in Homestead. And that's where that white and even some of that grayish coloring is. And then huge amounts of 8 to 10 to 12 plus inches of rain as you look farther to the north. There was a 13 and change across northern Broward when we were a little bit more zoomed in with this map. We're splitting hairs, though. You get the idea here. Many areas, a foot and a half of rainfall just over a 3-day period. Brutal. Rain moving out, thankfully, right? Just one little sliver of showers left over for northeastern Broward. That's it. Now, as far as advisories go, how great is this? These flood advisories have dropped. Still a coastal flood advisory because of those gusty winds, though. But the advisories have dropped for now. So that definitely is good news. What hasn't dropped are the winds here, although just a little bit lower right now, 37 miles per hour with those wind gusts. Fort Lauderdale, 36 Pompano Beach. About an hour ago, we were gusting over 50 in Pompano. So let's talk about the wind advisories that we have right now. So we're losing the rain issue and we're dealing with the wind issue. So in brown, wind advisory. In that yellow, high wind warning, gusts to 60. As that low continues to move east, though, those winds will come down a little bit. And this is why a lot of those advisories will drop as we go into the afternoon. It's just so nice to see no rain on this map, though, right? That is the best part of this whole thing. But the rough conditions out on the water, though, will definitely continue. This is something, I can't remember the last time I saw this. So as far as boating conditions go, small craft advisory is kind of low-end issues, and then you can get a gale warning, which is worse than that. And then you can get a storm warning, which we have now for seas running up to about 11 feet here. So now let's go to Shernay Amara, Dania Beach. So you saw some of the amounts I was talking about, Shernay, maybe about 1 foot of rain or so in the last 3 days. How's it looking out there right now?
Yeah, so this is actually a look at the Ravenswood Estates neighborhood. This is in Dania Beach, right by PJ Milley Park, if you're familiar. And we'll step out of the way just so you can see what these streets are looking like, really covered in water. So if you don't have to leave your house, I would advise that you stay home because no one wants to navigate through this. We've been here for the last hour, and honestly, it's kind of like a maze. You got to figure out which streets are passable and safe to pass through. So it really is on a street-by-street basis. This street in particular covered in water. Some streets looking better than others. This neighborhood is right off of Griffin Road and Northwest 28th. So those neighborhood streets, that's what you really got to watch for because Griffin is looking pretty nice. I do want to show you also the neighborhood over in Edgewood. Images from last night, throughout the day yesterday. That neighborhood, unfortunately, no stranger to flooding. You'll remember it dealt with historic flood waters back in April. So our crews were out there for a few hours throughout Wednesday, and the water was definitely starting to rise several inches just in the middle of the evening. Neighbors telling NBC6 it brings back painful memories of the historic flooding a few months ago. Now, one neighbor actually showed us the watermarks still across her living room after the neighborhood went underwater back in April. Take a listen.
The water is coming up and up and up, and I say in here, when I see the water in here, I say no, I need to go.
Hey, back out here in Dania Beach, you can call it rain fatigue and maybe a bit of PTSD, but people have really been on edge and concerned. And, the rain has stopped. That's the good news. I mean, it feels good to see that finally the rain has stopped because we have all really been feeling that fatigue. But now this is what you're waking up to this morning and trying to navigate through these floodwaters and really cleanup time in Broward County. And that's what we're seeing here in Dania Beach, parts of Broward County. For now, reporting in Dania Beach, Shernay Marr, NBC6 News.
All right, Shernay, thank you for the update there from Dania Beach. Let's check in with Julia Bagg now. She is live this morning in Miami-Dade County, where looks like we're seeing similar conditions to what we're dealing with in Broward County. Julia.
Oh, man, we sure are, Chris. Here in Fontainebleau, neighbors just starting to waking up to this water that goes all through the community here in their Fontainebleau neighborhood off Northwest 87th Avenue and West Flagler Street. In fact, I just spoke with someone who was trying to leave for work and thought better of it because in some places the water's maybe just a couple inches, but others it does get deeper as you try to leave this complex here. And so he decided not to risk it. I was just talking to another neighbor who's trying to decide right now if she thinks her car can make it out based on how high your car is. Let me show you the water coming right up to the buildings this morning. It does appear now that it hasn't been raining for the past 2 hours or more, that perhaps it is starting to recede. And boy, is that a big sigh of relief for people who live here. They don't want the water coming into that bottom floor like it did 3 years ago, causing so much damage to a lot of apartments here. And I just spoke with a man who was trying to walk his dog. He did not get very far. He's also got some concerns this morning. Take a listen.
I can walk to my car, but I don't know how it is out there. Miami just gets flooded all over the place, so it is a little bit dangerous.
You can understand that because let me show you over here. This is actually a roadway, but it's deeper than where I'm standing and hard to tell just how deep it is. This neighbor who came here maybe an hour ago decided not to go any further and just parked right here, not even in a parking space. So right now, neighbors waking up, trying to decide how to deal with this. School, as we've been telling you, even though it's canceled in Broward, public schools remain open at this point in Miami-Dade County. So it's going to be a mess, especially for residents here in this part of Northwest Miami-Dade in the Fontainebleau community, trying to figure out how to get to work, how to get to school. So stay with NBC6 as we continue to help you out with all of that. Live this morning in Northwest Miami-Dade, Julia Bagg, NBC6 News.
All right, Julia, yeah, it is a mess out there, so you want to be careful out on the roadways. We're looking at not only slick conditions out there, but with some of those power outages, there are flashing traffic lights. Some of those traffic lights are out completely. So we want to bring in traffic anchor Joanna Torres to continue our team coverage with a look at some of the cautions and precautions we need to take going out this morning.
Absolutely. We're seeing, unfortunately, those accidents pop up also because of those slick roadways this morning, right? So right now on I-95 southbound at Sunrise Boulevard, 2 left lanes there are blocked right now. So if you're heading in that direction, you want to give yourself some extra time as you head out this morning. And then in Dade, there's also an accident on I-95 heading southbound just before the Dauphin Expressway and I-395. That left lane there is blocked, and you can see all that purple there. That's because there's a disabled vehicle that's blocking the on-ramp there, as well as you're trying to head on from I-95 southbound onto 395 heading eastbound. So just give yourself some extra time this morning and drive carefully. Chris.
All right, Joanna, thank you. Wednesday's washout has caused traffic nightmares, of course, and also delays at airports across South Florida. So let's take a look at the current numbers at this point. This morning at last check, Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport has 18 flight delays and 2 cancellations. Over at Miami International Airport this morning, there have been 10 delays reported and 1 cancellation. Of course, for the latest on all things weather, including a handheld version of our First Alert Doppler 6000, you can download our First Alert weather app to stay up to date.
Let's take you live outside across downtown Miami this morning, where things have quieted down just a little bit. When we come back, we're going to have more weather coverage, including those winds that continue to blow across South Florida. It's getting pretty intense in some parts. We're going to have all that for you in just a few moments. 6:10 is your time. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope your day's off to a great start.